So now that we've gotten a little bit of an introduction to scaffold 3, what I want us to do is go back in and rethink this idea of primary versus secondary sources. Because most of you for Wednesday's assignment got me some primary sources, some places where you're seeing how people are talking and arguing about the policy that you're studying. And now it's time to get in and find some secondary sources, some sources that help us understand the context for this argument or that help us interpret those arguments in a way that allow us to make a claim about the overall values. Now, a couple of quick reminders. Remember, primary research is you and your topic. So you and the arguments that are being made together. You are interpreting those arguments. When we get to secondary research, what that means is that somebody else is interpreting your topic and you are borrowing ideas or credibility from that other person who is interpreting your topic and helping you. So those secondary sources are a those secondary sources are another scholar or commentator coming alongside you to comment on your topic and support you while you work. Now, remember, and this is really important, if you hear nothing else I say, hear this. When you get local, you are unlikely to find research that is specifically about your topic, especially if you are studying something that is pandemic related. That has happened so recently that you're probably not going to find scholars talking about the pandemic. That's not only okay, it's good because what it lets you do is use your skills of inference. Okay? Remember that inference asks us to think about how what's happening in other places or at other times. How might that help me understand what's going on now or in my local community? So if you get out into the scholarship and you don't find anyone talking about your town, or you don't find anyone talking about this moment in time, or you don't find anyone talking about the organization that you're studying, that's okay. What we need to do is step back and take a bird's eye view and ask, what have scholars talked about that can help me understand what's going on? So for example, you'll remember from my PowerPoint presentation example that I was looking at the Mat-Su-Borough School District. This happened like 2 weeks ago that the Mat-Su-Borough School District decided to quote unquote ban, and I put that in air quotes, remember, because some folks argued that it wasn't a ban. This happened about 2 weeks ago, so there's unlikely to be scholarship about it. But I have some other questions. I have some questions like, how often does this happen? Who should ultimately be responsible for deciding what students read? Now, I can go out and I can start looking for scholarship that can help me answer those questions about academic freedom and about these tensions in banning books. Now, a couple of things to note. Up here, I have Google Scholar open because I think Google Scholar is really helpful. It gives us those scholarly sources and it is an easily searchable approach. I also have open the McDermott Library site. For both of these, they're going to work best if you are using the VPN line. If you have access to VPN, that will get you access to the articles most easily. If you do not have access to VPN, it's not the end of the world, but you might want to reach out to me and let me know because I can help you. My VPN is fairly consistent these days, and I can get you materials as you need them. So I'm going to jump in here. You can see I've been looking for things for people. Um, And I am going to type in banning books and high school. And I'm just going to see what comes up. The thing about research is that, again, it's a Jeremy Bearimy. It's kind of crazy, and you never quite know what you're going to find. But oh, hey, check it out. Here's a book, Banned Book Censorship in School. It's giving me a sense that it is scholarly, the effects of censorship on experienced high school English. What that means is how does censorship affect my experience of a high school English course? Now, I don't have access to the library, which is a bummer right now, but I do have access to google.com/books. And so I'm going to jump in and I'm going to look up that book. And heyo, there it is. It was written in 1988, so it's a little old, and I don't have a ton of access to it. So I can't really tell based on this preview whether or not this is going to be helpful to me. So I'm going to keep working. Okay, back in here, back into Google. Oh, hey, here's one that I could look at. That looks like it might be helpful, and it's a PDF that I have access to. This is interesting. The banning of a book in British Columbia. British Columbia, it's not the United States, so the rules, the government regulations are going to be a little bit different. Maybe, maybe not, right? I'm going to keep that one on the back burner. Here we go. Oh, no, Canada again. Darn it. Looks like a lot of this work has been done in Canada. Let's look at this one. Okay, look, it's more recent. That's a good start. And I have access to it. That's a good start. All right, guys, this one feels promising. I'm in. Now, when you find a scholarly journal article, there are going to be a few things that you're going to be looking for, okay? One, is it in a periodical? Volume 86, number 2, it comes out in a certain month. This is definitely a periodical. It's coming from a scholarly organization, the National Council of Teachers of English. Woot! That's another sign that this is a scholarly article. And last but not least, check it out. We've got those parenthetical citations and a works cited list, other signs that this is a scholarly article. So this could be a great one for me to use. And look here, this is exactly the kind of thing I'm looking for. Lessons. Students are learning some important things from studying the question of banning books, and those might be things that I can learn as well. Now, you can see, if you watched my last video, you can see that this source tends to align itself most closely with the school board's minority, right? So this source is going to lend credence to the school board minority because it is about a teacher, and the teachers tend to align themselves most closely with the American Library Association, who do not want banned books. This is a teaching unit, and so it's going to align most closely with that minority. If we go back in here, we can keep looking just like I've done to see, has anybody talked in ways that would lend some credence to the parents' point of view or to the school board's point of view? Has anybody done that work? And so I might start looking a little bit deeper into my Google Scholar search here. Now, over here, we can, in the library site, choose article and ebook search. Oh, interesting. Huh. Guys, stick with Google Scholar for now. I'm going to see if I can figure out what's going on here so that if any of you encounter this, I can help you troubleshoot it. If you encounter this, let me know. That will be helpful. We're collecting data to send back to the library, but for now, go ahead and stick with Google Scholar. See what you can find. Let me know if you encounter this over here, but I think you should be able to do some good work in Google Scholar. As I said, research is a mess. You've watched me experience some mess here, and I did that on purpose because what I want you guys to know is that I'm a trained researcher, and even I run into the mess. When you run into the mess, turn around and try another route. That's what all researchers do. It's a normal part of this work. Let me know what challenges you're facing. I'm here to help you, and I want to make sure that you're able to find some good sources to help you out. Thanks, everybody.